Hey, today I'm heading up to Crockett, Texas for the Davy Crockett road race. It's my first road race in a long time, and it's kind of exciting because it's the same course as the very first race I ever did back in January. So I'm really kind of looking forward to seeing how it goes today. It should be interesting. There's 18 people pre-registered right now, and it's a 12:30 start in July in Texas. So that's going to be interesting. The high today is going to be somewhere in the low to mid 90s probably. So let's talk pros and cons. Let's do the cons first. Con, obviously, first and foremost, number one, big time, is my lack of experience in mass start road racing. This is only my third mass start road race, non-crit, non-time trial road race. And so I lack a lot of experience. I think that, my equipment's better than it was the last time I did this race. I'm on a new bike. My fitness is obviously much better. I do have a little bit more experience, but compared to everybody else I'm racing against, all these other Category 4s have way more experience than me. So just, being strong isn't probably going to be enough. There's going to be things that happen during the race that I'm not going to be aware of. And so hopefully today I can get some experience. I can be in position to learn from some of those moves and some things that happen and get a little bit more experience. Second con, and this looks like a big one, at least just based on the pre-reg list, team size. Right now, I've only got one teammate in the race, which is the way it was the last time I did it. This guy named Chisholm, who's a super strong sprinter. He actually got second the last time we did this course. But Crest RBM Racing has 5 of the 18 riders that are pre-registered. That's 28% of the entire field is Crest. So if they bring some strong dudes, and they are, they've got 2 or 3 of the top 11 in the Texpro point standings that are in this race. So they've got some bullets in the chamber, and having such a large percentage of the field, they should be able to do a lot of damage to the rest of us. One of the things in my pre-race plan, I don't have a lot of experience, but just making sure I know what I'm doing with a plan going in. If Crest wants to send one dude off the front and attack right off the bat, I'm not going to go and try and stay with that, because then they're going to send another dude, and they're just going to rip us all apart all day long. So if they attack early, if they attack first, I'm letting it go. And there's not much we can do. Chisholm's a super strong rider, but like I said, he wants to sprint for the win at the end. I can't expect him to want to go pull those back. Later, if I need to pull something back to help him out, I think mostly this race for me is experience, and secondly is about trying to help him get from second to first on the podium if possible, as much as I'd love a result for myself. Third con, the heat. It's going to be hot. It's going to be humid. If you're not from a Gulf Coast state, you can have desert heat, and I understand that dry heat feels differently. I just rode from the valley, from Mexico to San Antonio, basically, 2 weeks ago, and it was 120 degrees on the pavement. That was bad, but the humidity just kind of bakes you. It's going to be tough. I think maybe, even though that's a con, we'll talk about that on the pros too, because I think that might help me. And then, of course, lastly, on the cons is that, we talked about team size, we talked about experience, we've talked about heat, and lastly is just, it's not even just, I don't have race legs right now. I've been training, but I'm just coming off of a big endurance event. I haven't been doing any racing. I don't think I'm in race shape. We'll see how my legs feel, but maybe they turn out to be good. But if they do, it's just, this isn't a big A race on my calendar. Some guys, like some of these guys from Crest and maybe some of the other guys in the race, they're trying to finish out their point season strong. I'm not anywhere near the point standings. I'm just showing up to get experience. Some of these guys are going to just be on form and crushing it probably. So that's a big advantage for them and a disadvantage for me. Now, let's talk pros. All right, pro, definitely. My body weight, my size. I woke up this morning about 2 pounds over ideal weight. I'm at 151.9 in pounds, which is pretty small compared to most people, I would imagine. Maybe not for cycling, but if there's a dude that's out there that's 6'3", 190, 200 pounds in this heat, he's got 50% more body mass. I mean, even assuming equal fitness, equal body composition, he's got 33% more body weight than me, more mass. Even if we're equally composed, that means, all things being equal, if we sweat the same, if we're working the same, that dude's going to have to take in 33% more water to stay hydrated on a day like today. Ideally, my size, my weight should be a little bit of a pro today, especially with some of these rollers, that can wear on the bigger dudes even if they're strong. Hopefully that can help me if things get strung out, that I can stay up near the front. Second, the heat, in addition to body weight, I've been out riding in the heat. Hopefully I'm more acclimated to it than some of these guys. Knowing the course, having ridden it, a lot of these riders in this race rode it last time too, but that takes some of the nerves out of it for me. That's a big pro. I'm still, super anxious. I get geared up for these things, but that's a big deal. And of course, the last pro this time around for me, last one in the pro column, and that's confidence. I didn't have any confidence last time I did this. I was terribly nervous. I didn't know what to expect. I had no idea the pace of a race. I had never done this before. This time, I don't expect to win. That's unrealistic given my experience especially, but I expect to compete today, and I expect to put down a better performance than I did last time, where I just about had my pack finish that I was hoping for. This time, if a move presents itself and I'm there, I expect to be able to go with it. If it comes down to a group at the end, I'm not getting dropped. I know that I have the physical fitness, I have the power, I have the ability to ride to keep up with these guys. Now, can I do all the things that they do as far as strategy goes and how these teams are going to work together? No. They're going to be able to do things that I'm not going to recognize out there. But if I have a bad race today, it's not going to be because I'm not physically prepared, whereas last time I didn't know if I was prepared. I feel very confident in my ability today, and so no matter the result, I think I'm going to put in a good race and be happy with what goes on out there. We're in Crockett now. It is freaking hot. So, got the chip on the bikes together. Gonna pin the number on and let's go race. Alright, so here we are in a neutral start, and I want you to pay attention to these kits. Those are the guys from Crest Racing. So fast forwarding ahead to about a mile from the start, this highway marks the end of the neutral zone. And about 2 minutes from here, which I'll jump to, they send a rider up the road. And here you can see their team leader, Paul, motioning for another rider to come up to the front. And they start sitting on us. And they're just going to repeat this over and over and over for the first 20 miles or so, where they send a rider up the road in a fairly non-threatening attack, and then sit on the front and control the pace. And so here I'll mark where you can see the guy up the road not real far. Not a very threatening attack. Here you can see some guys have gone up the road with them. There's still 2 Crest guys sitting on the front. And this is just the reoccurring theme of the entire first 2/3 of the race, to be honest. And maybe even actually the last third also, when they refused to chase down a guy who wasn't on their team. Earlier I mentioned that one of the keys for me was not chasing things down needlessly when Crest was firing all their bullets. You can see right here, not only do I fire off the front, the guy here I'm catching on the bridge on my left is the one who eventually wins the race, and I'm bringing back this attack that's way up the road because I think that my teammate Chisholm is a ways back, and I want to give him some time to catch up before a breakaway sticks. I break this rule probably 3 or 4 times where I go off and chase down an attack in the first 15 miles I probably go and bring back 2 or 3 different attacks on my own. Just a real waste of energy that probably cost me when the breakaways went later. And as I get up here, this guy that's second in the breakaway, the one right in front of me, this guy went off the front probably, I don't even know, 5 times on his own and just blew himself up. I mean, I should have known, well, I guess I couldn't have known. I didn't know him as a rider, but man, that guy just was torching himself. You can see a crest rider up here, which is why I was going. I didn't want to have the crest rider get away, but this guy here in the black and green, man, this guy put it off the front so many times early, and I think the 3rd time I went up front to bring somebody back, it was him, which was a waste. He was the only guy from his team in the whole race, and he was just burning matches like they didn't matter. I don't know what he was doing, but again, huge mistakes on my part early in this, and now I'm at the very front of the attack, which is just a waste of energy that cost me later. Eventually, at about 32 to 35 miles, I'm not exactly sure where, an attack went off the front, and it stuck. And then with about 10 miles to go, another guy soloed up off the front. Really strong, former Ironman athlete, I'm told. It's just phenomenal. He got away after I had taken a pull, and I couldn't do anything about it. Had burned up too much early on these stupid attacks and pulls. But ended up not getting dropped, which is what happened to me the first time on this course. As you can see, here I am going again, which I'm not sure why, but I am. And anyways, I didn't turn my GoPro on at the finish, which is really unfortunate because it was super awesome.
So the race finished. It didn't go quite as I planned. You know, I chased a few attacks early, which was stupid. We couldn't get any help to chase attacks late, and as you probably noticed, I didn't turn my GoPro on at the end, which is unfortunate because I won the pack sprint to the finish and finished 4th overall. We never caught the breakaway, but despite all my mistakes, successful race. Feels pretty good. Crockett Road Race.